Hey everybody, earlier tonight during the Howard Terminal FEIR hearing, Gene Hazzard, longtime Oakland photographer and community activist and Politico, said that the legislation SB 293 Skinner, although he didn't refer to SB 293 Skinner, but he referred to then Assembly Speaker, now California Attorney General Rob Bonta, and State Senator Nancy Skinner as forming a document that paved the way for market rate housing. Well, he says there was no mention of affordable housing. Gene's blanket statement is wrong because the legislation known as SB 293 Skinner does call for affordable housing. Let me show you text for SB 293 Skinner. I did a simple search under the name affordable. There are not one, but three matches, three occurrences. Let's take a look at them, shall we? Just looking at this arrow and pressing on it like so. So this is the first, or the second occurrence of it. The first one says California is facing an affordable housing crisis that necessitates the creation of additional tools for local jurisdictions to create new local funding streams that will support equitable infill housing and associated supportive utility and transit infrastructure. It is therefore the intent of the legislature to provide the city of Oakland, hereafter referred to as the city, with additional latitude within the framework of the laws governing IFDs, infrastructure financing districts, to create and operate an IFD in a manner that optimizes its financing options to facilitate the construction of much needed public facilities. And here's the second occurrence of affordable housing, meeting the stated goals of community-wide significance. And then it goes on to where, if we scroll down one more, we then find that there's affordable housing again, right? And it says whether and the extent to which development facilitated by the district will generate economic benefits to the city, including but not limited to participation in any revenue stream to be generated by any project on city-owned property, or community benefits such as public open space and affordable housing. You would say, what is that? That's actually a subsection, and what it refers to the analysis and determinations have occurred regarding all the following: the project that cost the public facilities and parties that are in addition to the city, whether the extent to which the development is facilitated by the district will generate economic benefits to the city, including affordable housing. Okay? And you would say, where is that coming from? And if you go up further, way up, it says, one, before initiating proceedings for the establishment of a district pursuant to this section, the city council shall make all of the following findings. In other words, you're making the findings that basically, among other things, that the development that the district will cause using tax increment financing will cause the construction of much needed affordable housing, which is a community benefit. All right? So look, I've known Gene a long time, and Gene sometimes cherry picks legislation and law to make an argument against something a person he doesn't like is doing. That's what he's doing. It doesn't help anyone understand what Howard Terminal really is all about, or the legislation. It does not at all deal with the fact that the Howard Terminal legislation is path-breaking and can alter the city of Oakland entirely in terms of providing more affordable housing if it is understood and used correctly under SB 293 Skinner. For example, if tax increment financing is used, and it would be used under SB 293 Skinner, that's the intent, there would be, assuming a base year assessed value of just $2 billion, $1.6 billion approximately in revenue, bondable revenue, of which a bond issue of roughly $800 million could be let. Part of that money could go to, $350 million would go to the A's for infrastructure, and the resulting $530 million would be able to be used for, that's right, you guessed it, off-site projects of community-wide significance. That's what SB 293 Skinner allows. It allows it. The problem with the way the city is doing things now, because it's not following the law, is that people are confused. So they believe that because the A's aren't paying for, out of their pocket, the off-site improvements, which was really never the intent of SB 293 Skinner anyway, and I'll tell you why in a second, but that means that, there's not going to be money to pay for community benefit projects. Wrong. No one building a stadium facility uses, or developer for that matter, building a project, uses their own money. They leverage someone else's money. It doesn't matter if it's this project or the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences new home, or the Dolby Theater where the Oscars are presented. Okay? There's always, with large projects, some, if you will, leveraging in order to have a better rate of return. That's with any project. To want to soak someone just because you perceive they're a billionaire is stuck on stupid. It really is. So I'm saying to people, stop employing your idea that you can't do something and that a billionaire can do something, and that's the only reason to cause them to pay for anything on this project. It has nothing to do with it. The question should always be, if they have the capital to back the project, how can we use public funds to steer the development the way that we want? That's the idea. So that you have the power to say, we want union representation. You have the power to call for financing of community banks using tax increment financing. You have the power to call for that in many other projects and facilities of community-wide significance. What has not been done here is the identification of those community benefits as projects of community-wide significance that would then be paid for by TIF, by tax increment financing. That's the way the law was written. But by the mayor's own admission, her people don't understand tax increment financing. And it's clear they still don't understand it, because as of this day in February 19th, or going on 18th, February 18th, 2022, they still have not established the Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District, which they should have done in 2020. This is 2022. They're behind schedule. They need to simply vote into law a public financing authority and call for, and then authorize that organization to create what is called an infrastructure financing plan, for which you can put the community benefits in and then cost them out, and then compare that cost with the expected tax increment. They're not doing it right. What I'm talking about to you is standard around the state of California, but not in Oakland. It's terrible. And Gene, you're wrong. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com.